Today we are talking about Stellantis and whether or not they are in trouble because, Andre, we have the first 6 months of sales from Stellantis and things are not looking too good.
Yeah, well, you may see a lot of videos on YouTube about rest in peace, dead, but we have actual numbers, right? Let's look at the data and let's look at what Stellantis is saying. Stellantis, of course, is a company that encompasses many brands, right? Jeep, Ram, Fiat, Alfa Romeo, Chrysler, and on and on and on.
Dodge, yeah.
Dodge.
It's a lot of brands. It used to be FCA, now it's Stellantis. Although, interestingly enough, Andre, in their reports, they still use the FCA title.
I see it right here, FCA US LLC. So Stellantis, are you really FCA, Fiat Chrysler Automobiles, or are you Stellantis?
So we have Q2, quarter two sales, and year-to-date sales. Yeah. I think the year-to-date probably are better, right? The first half
the longer
of the year.
the time period is, you can kind of see some trends, right?
Sure,
yeah.
Right. So let's talk about what is happening. What is going on with Jeep, Andre?
So for second quarter of 2024, the Jeep brand as a whole is down 19%. And for the year, for the 6 months, like you said, is down 9%. You can see it right here. So no matter how you slice it, those are worrisome numbers. But there are a couple of bright spots. First of all, Wagoneer and Grand Wagoneer, these two humongous SUVs are growing big time.
Yeah, I mean, they are up in some cases. What's that number? 19%?
119%.
119%.
Yes, so more than doubling some of these sales. So good for the Wagoneer. They're fully ramped up on their production. And I think a lot of fleets are also buying these, with shuttles, luxury vehicles, etc.
So yeah, that's good news. I think the other thing going on is there could be a lot of cash on the hood on Wagoneer and Grand Wagoneer.
Yes.
I think when they launched it, they kind of overpriced that vehicle. And now maybe things are starting to come back to normal a little bit, which is good. Some other things going on, Andre, is we did have that big dealer hacking recently.
Yes, there was a cyber attack on all of the software that every dealer uses.
You did talk to one of the major Stellantis dealers in our area, and what did they tell you? Were they that impacted by it?
They told me that the sale numbers were not impacted. Okay. Their business was impacted because they had to do double work, tracking the sales and inventory in multiple places. And now, since the software is back online for over the last couple of days, now they have to do a bunch of work and consolidate all that stuff. So their business was impacted, but the sales were not.
Interesting. Okay.
Yes.
So the number of vehicles they're moving didn't really change.
Yes.
Interesting. But I mean, what we're seeing here are pretty much, if we're looking at Jeep for 2024, Wrangler's down, Gladiator's down.
Wrangler down 17%. Gladiator down 24%.
Grand Cherokee is down.
Well, Cherokee is discontinued, and Renegade is down 69%.
Yeah, but they're still selling. I mean, both those vehicles are end of production, but they still have sold 9,000 this year.
And even the Grand Cherokee,
7,000.
Yeah, even the Grand Cherokee, that's been the kind of the stalwart, right, the best-selling Jeep for many, a huge period of time, is also down.
I mean, what it comes down to for me, I think one of the big reasons is interest rates are high, and these Jeep prices are just out of hand. I mean, it's possible to get a Grand Cherokee well into the $70,000 range.
Yes.
Right? And
or maybe even 80.
What Jeep will tell you is, yeah, but we still offer like the Wrangler for around 30,000. But if you go and actually look at what dealers are speccing or what is really available, the majority of Wrangler prices are going to be well over $50,000, $55,000, $60,000.
Yes. Well, our colleague Alex just purchased a two-door Wrangler. Right. And this was a Sport S, I believe.
Yeah.
And this was what, over 40?
No, it was over 50, I think. It was like a $52,000.
Oh, yeah. And then he got some cash on the hood.
Yeah. So what is selling these Jeeps, if you ask me, are the dealer discounts right now and maybe some incentives from Jeep because the sticker prices are just nuts. They're just way too high.
Yes.
So if we look at Ram and Chrysler, Ram is down a big margin as
26% in the quarter, second quarter, and also for the year, for the 6 months. 26% is a huge number, dude. ProMaster van is down. Ram pickup trucks, light duty and heavy duty are down.
Yeah.
And I pulled up this image too. This is the new Ram heavy duty Rebel. They're towing the new RHO. They just unveiled it recently. But I was looking at prices on heavy duty Rebels between 85 and 95,000.
I know.
For 2,500.
And part of what's going on with the pickup sales from Ram is they are transitioning to a new generation, or at least a heavily refreshed generation of the 1500.
Yes.
So that is going to slow down production.
Impact a little bit, yes.
Certainly, yeah. And then heavy duty is, I mean, it's been lightly refreshed, but it still is an old platform.
Yes, and we're still waiting for an updated platform for heavy duty.
Yeah.
But here's what FCA and Stellantis have to say. They are saying, so a couple of bright spots for them. They said Ram commercial fleet sales increased 47% Q2 over Q1. So they're seeing a little bit of improvement there, according to them. Ram brand saw 11% growth Q2 over Q1. So once again, they had a really poor Q1 first quarter, and they're saying in Q2 it's improving, but it's still negative, right?
This is a funny one to me. Looking at it here, Dodge brand total increase 16% Q2 over Q1. Charger, Challenger of 50, and Durango of 52%. 18% and 18%. How can Charger and Challenger be up when
They're
they
discontinued?
stopped making them in December of last year? That was such a big mistake because the demand for those ancient dinosaurs was still so high.
Yes.
And
they're big and comfortable sedans.
They were probably just printing money. I'm sure the CAFE and the EPA numbers on them were terrible.
Yes.
But
especially the Hellcats.
yeah, but they were just selling so well. They're still selling well. They're not even making them anymore.
And also the new electrified Charger has been delayed, and it's not going to be on sale until several months from now.
One person bought a new Viper this year, which is pretty funny. That car's been gone for a long time. But
That's weird.
If we're looking at some of these are still carryover, but
So Dodge, let's look at Dodge.
Right.
Oh, Chrysler. We skipped over Chrysler. So really, they only have one vehicle on sale, which is the Pacifica, and also kind of the fleet version of the Pacifica, right? But even this Pacifica is down 4%, or 8%, total for the brand.
Yep. Yeah.
What about Dodge? Hornet is selling, but Hornet sold 11,718 in the first half of this year, but everything else is down.
I mean, like Fiat, right? So we've got a new Fiat,
Yes.
the 500. It's up 16,000%. Did you see that?
Yes.
Q2 versus Q1.
But how many cars did they sell?
163 instead of one.
That's not very many cars.
Not many cars. And then Q2, or year to date, has only been 204. So they're not really getting many of those 500Es out. I know it's still a new vehicle.
Yeah.
And then Alfa Romeo is just...
Well,
Tonale.
it's showing...
Tonale is new. That's good.
Tonale is kind of carrying Alfa Romeo brand right now. And I know electrified versions of them are coming. So... and also, I don't see like Maserati reported here.
Giulia and Stelvio...
Down
quite a lot. Yeah, so Tonale is going to be the savior of that brand. It's going to have to be. But like 500X, they sold just over 260 of. Why keep that car? It's not discontinued, is it? Like there's still a 2024 500X, I think.
I think so. And of course, the Dodge Hornet and the Alfa Romeo Tonale is sharing their platform.
So how did Stellantis interpret some of this? So one of their highlights I saw is they say they're leading in plug-in hybrid sales. So plug-in hybrid sales, Wrangler 4xe number 1, Grand Cherokee 4xe number 2, Pacifica number 4, and Hornet number 5.
And that's all valid.
It's good stuff.
It's very valid, yes.
Good stuff.
And actually, we've tested the 4xe Jeeps, and they're very solid.
Right.
Although pricey.
So, I mean, what's going to happen, I think, is at some point there's going to have to be a serious correction in prices. And I know Jeep has mentioned that some of the prices are coming down a little, but there's got to be a correction to make these vehicles more affordable. And we have to start seeing some more sheet metal out there.
Yeah, new product.
Yeah.
You have new product, it will sell.
Heavily refreshed. Like Wrangler's been around since 2018.
Yeah.
And it received a facelift in 24 for the 24 model year. Clearly, the sales are not blowing up on that new facelift Wrangler. Like, in my opinion, what sells vehicles in the U.S., and this has been largely the same since the beginning of car sales in the U.S., is folks want to buy cars that look different, right? People want to see...
Because if your neighbor has a 2-year-old Jeep,
right,
you want to roll up in something looking fresh.
And if I have a 2018 Wrangler, a brand new one just doesn't look that different, right? It's got a different grille, and that's about it. Some colors and wheels. Like, people want to see visual changes between their vehicles. I know it's expensive to implement, but it has to happen. It has to happen.
And then the new Ram 1500 has a new engine, right? The Hurricane lineup of engines. They also removed the V8, which was kind of core to some customers, right?
Sure, right.
So that's going to be a challenge. But then the new Ram 1500, if you look at it from afar, it looks like a 2024.
Right. I mean,
They didn't change it much.
I just want to say I love these brands. And
Yes.
I'm very
That's why we're passionate about this.
That's why we're getting heated about this, is because there's got to be a change. There's got to be better stuff happening at this company for this to have a long-term success.
And I want to drive the new electric Charger.
Right.
But it's not here.
Yeah, electric Ram, right? Lightning has been out for what, 3 years now? 2 years?
Yes.
3 years? Nowhere around. Silverado now selling EV
EVs,
in
yes.
sales. Ram not around. That new Ram Charger looks awesome. Not around. The electric Ram not around. The Charger electric not around. Like we gotta start getting product out the door. More importantly, from a Stellantis standpoint, there has to be serious investment that's being made in new product, and we just haven't seen that, in my opinion, so far.
Indeed, I would agree. So there's a little bit of good news, like we said. The Wagoneer sales are picking up and up and up. But yeah, as of and they're saying Q2 is improving over Q1. So maybe next quarter we'll be here talking about some better news.
Right. Folks, let us know what you think in the comment section below. We'd love to hear your input. If you want to find videos ahead of time, check out our Patreon, which will be linked below. We also have exclusive content over there. But as always, this has been Tommy.
And Andre,
We'll see you on the next video. Thanks for watching.
thank you.